guys, what's up? It's Izzy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to make an advice video for any incoming college freshmen because it is nearing the end of summer, which is really sad, but I'm also really excited to go back to school. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to be a sophomore at the University of Illinois, so I just finished my freshman year, and I would say that I have some pretty good tips and advice to give out to any incoming freshmen because I just lived it. And I think I'm probably gonna do a part 2 to this video talking about things that I didn't cover because there's just so much to talk about with freshman year. There's so many questions, and yeah, I really want to help you guys out. So let's get on into the video. Now, when it comes to picking a roommate, there are a couple different options that I see a lot of people doing, and one of them would be going random and just doing a random roommate. Not too many of my friends did this, but I have definitely heard stories that picking a random roommate turned out really bad or really good, and you end up being really good friends with someone that you would have otherwise probably not have known. I think going random is definitely something I wouldn't personally do just because I kind of like to have more control over the situation of who I'm going to be living with. But if you're someone who doesn't really care, or you're not really too worried about it, maybe you get along easily with everyone, then going random is definitely an option that you can do. Another option that a lot of people do is rooming with a friend from home. So say you have a friend from high school that's also going to the same school, you can room with them. That is an option as well if that's something you feel more comfortable about, but a lot of people are hesitant to do that because if you're rooming with a friend from high school, it might be harder for you to branch out and meet new people. So that's kind of up to you. I went to college with a few people, actually a lot of people from my high school and some people like from my friend group actually in high school, and I didn't room with any of them just because I kind of wanted to branch out and meet people that were not just from my high school and my hometown. I actually roomed with my cousin Caroline. If you guys have seen any of my videos from last year, you would know that. This is kind of like rooming with a friend, I would say, but we went to different high schools, but we're super close. We're pretty compatible with our lifestyles and our habits, so rooming with her was kind of like a no-brainer. Even though our whole family was like, don't do it, you're gonna hate each other, we are totally fine. I wish I was rooming with her again. Like, it was literally the best time. So if you have like a really close best friend or a cousin or a sibling and you want to room with them, I think that is such a good idea. Another way that you can find a roommate is through Facebook. There are Facebook groups, or I think there was like a website you could go to kind of put in your information and stuff and try to find a roommate through that. I would say this is a good idea because you can kind of get to know the person a little bit before you actually like live with them, so it's not completely random, and you guys can kind of talk and figure out what their habits are and stuff like that. And I think that would probably get you one of the better results just because you already kind of know what you're getting yourself into. With any roommate, whether it's a friend or a random person, I think it's super important to communicate beforehand your lifestyles and your habits. For instance, what time do you go to bed? If you have a roommate that goes to bed at 3 a.m. every night and you like to go to bed at 10:30, that's not gonna, mesh well. If your roommate's really messy and you're really neat, that could definitely cause problems. So I think just looking at your behavioral stuff will really help you out when it comes to finding a roommate that's a good fit for you. Okay, so once you actually have your roommate and you guys are like living together, I think it's really important to set up some rules and guidelines like right as you're starting out living together, just so you know kind of what the other person is expecting, and it'll help you guys get along a lot better. For instance, like if you have a fridge, like, are you guys sharing all the food in the fridge? Is there some food that's yours, some food that's theirs? Like, that kind of thing. Another big thing that I found was like if one person is going to bed and one person is staying up, how to navigate that. Like, we had our desks were kind of behind these like little walls where our beds were, so I could go to sleep and Caroline could be studying with her lamp on and it wouldn't really bother me. So I think sorting that kind of thing out is really important as well. I think the most important thing to having a roommate is making sure that you have open communication with them. If you have any issues, to talk through them and resolve them, and just, you're living with another person, so that's really different. But it can be just a really, really good experience if you make it. Next thing I want to talk about is how to make your dorm room feel like home. So when I first moved in, I remember walking in and I was like, oh my god, this room is so tiny, like ugly. Like I was like, this won't feel like my room at all. And I think it really helps to have kind of like a color palette. Caroline and I went shopping together for all our dorm stuff, and our room was very much like blue and white, so everything kind of looked good together. I think having cohesive colors makes the room seem a little less chaotic because there is a lot of stuff in your room, because that's like your whole like living space. Everything that you need is like in that room. So it's gonna be kind of cluttered, but I think a way to make it feel more relaxing and more like home is to keep it organized and keep it neat looking. A tip that I have is to always make your bed. Caroline and I made our beds every single morning, and it was just so nice, like coming home from class and having your bed made. It makes the room feel so much more like I said, clean and neat. Also, people are going to be coming in and out of your room and like sitting on your bed, if you have like no chairs or whatever, which we didn't. And I think having my bed made just kind of made me feel better because people were sitting like on my comforter instead of like on my sheets. I don't know, I just thought the room looked so much better. When you make your bed, you feel more productive. It's great. I think this is kind of obvious, but get cute decor that you love. Make your room something that you're really proud of and you love, and it's a cute place to hang out, because if your room is like you don't really like how it looks, then I feel like you're not gonna really feel at home in your dorm room. I would recommend putting up lights. We had 2 big windows, but that was about it, and the way our room was set up was the beds were kind of more in the dark because they were behind these walls. If you watch my dorm tour, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. I think lights make the room feel a lot brighter, obviously, and more happy, so I think that adding lights really adds a lot to your dorm room. Put pictures of your friends on your walls. I decorated one of my walls with a ton of different pictures, and I loved looking at them every day. If you're feeling homesick or like you're missing your friends, that'll definitely help out. And also, it's just kind of like cute decor that's easy to do. Like printing pictures costs like no money. I mean, it costs a little bit of money, but it's a nice way to just kind of have some memories from home at your dorm. Keeping your dorm room clean, I would recommend, like I said, making your bed every day, keeping your clothes off the floor, trying to keep it as clean and neat as possible because this is where you're living. I just liked coming home to a clean room. Our room got messy, like don't get me wrong, but I think for the most part we tried to keep it pretty organized. And then also it's really important to deep clean your room every once in a while, like vacuum the rug, wipe down all your surfaces, clean your bathroom, all that kind of stuff because it can get gross. Wash your sheets. Keep up with your laundry, like don't let it get out of hand because you're on your own with this stuff. We had a cleaning lady come every 2 weeks to vacuum our carpet, clean our bathroom, wipe down stuff, so our room stayed pretty clean. But if you don't have a cleaning service, definitely get like a mini vacuum or something like that because you never know how dirty your room's gonna get. So we had a dining hall inside our dorm because it was private housing, but for a lot of people there's like a bunch of different dining halls you can go to. I would say you think that you will eat a lot more than you actually will, if that makes sense. So like I had a meal plan where I had 3 meals a day and I only ate 2 meals a day, so the 3rd meal was kind of going to waste. Definitely consider how much you eat during the school year, like at home. Like at home I never ate breakfast, so I don't know why I thought I would eat breakfast at college. Also, eating in the dining hall is not as bad as it seems. There's always something that you can find. Really, whatever they were serving was kind of like what we would eat, but there was always a salad bar, there was always cereal. There was like different options, like we had a Mexican station, we had like the normal lunch, whatever, and then there'd be like always like burgers and grilled cheese and fries, which is not healthy, but I definitely ate them. Also with dorm amenities, I would say really just take advantage of living in the dorms because for a lot of people, you only live in the dorms for 1 year. So we had lounges on every floor that I didn't really use a whole lot first semester, but then second semester, my friends and I would always go in the lounges to study and do homework and stuff like that. We also had a pool, a gym, we had a kitchen in our dorm, which I feel like we should have taken advantage of a lot more than we did. My friends and I baked cookies in our kitchen one time, and that was super fun, and I don't know if we used it ever again. But definitely if you have stuff like that, take advantage of it because it's free. And you're a college kid, so stuff for free is like really good. The front desk was really nice too. You could check out like vacuums, board games, stuff like that. So definitely like use your dorm to its fullest capacity. Don't just stay in your room, if that makes sense, because you can find a lot of fun stuff for free in your dorm. I would recommend definitely to branch out from people from your high school. I know that the first few weeks, like I only hung out with people from my high school, and my roommate Caroline hung out with people from her high school. So we would hang out with, we would hang out with people from each other's high schools, but we wouldn't really branch out to anyone else. I definitely think it's important in the first few weeks to really branch out and really put yourself out there, even if you're a super shy person, because everyone in college is looking for friends right away because you're in college, you don't know that many people. So people are a lot more receptive to just, you know, saying hi or introducing yourself in the first few weeks than they would be like a month or two into school, because at that point people kind of establish groups and stuff like that. Another thing is to keep your door open. Everyone says this, but it's pretty true. I think keeping your door open allows people to pop in and introduce themselves. You can get acquainted with people on your floor. We lived at the end of the hall, so we kept our door open, but no one walked past because we're at the end of the hall. But definitely do that, so then you can get acquainted with people on your floor, make friends with your floor mates, and it makes living in a dorm so much better, because then when you're like coming home or like walking in the hall, it's not awkward. You can like say hi to people. It kind of takes a while to find the people that you're really supposed to be friends with. Don't just be friends with people out of convenience, because you want to find people that you actually really click with. Making friends in classes also. Say you're in a class, this happened to me. A girl sitting in front of me was like, oh, where do you live? And I was like, Bromley. She's like, oh, me too. You want to walk home together? And then we walked home together. So in classes, maybe finding people who live in your building, or if you sit next to someone, just introduce yourself. Honestly, like, don't have any fear, because it's the first few months of school. People are just super like wanting to make friends. So nobody is gonna think that it's weird. Of course, making friends in clubs that you join or Greek life or anything like that is super easy because you're kind of like thrown into it. That's how I found my best friends. It's not how everyone like finds their friend group, of course, but for me, that's kind of how it happened. Okay, so being with friends is awesome, and having friends is awesome in college. I spent probably like literally every single day with my friend group. Like we would eat together, we would do laundry together, we would hang out in each other's rooms, stuff like that. But it is also so important to have alone time. I am a person who needs to recharge and be alone and go to my room, you know, take a second. So definitely find your alone time. I like to put my AirPods in and watch Netflix or YouTube, and that's kind of just me being like keeping to myself. I lay in my bed, you know, a few minutes every day just to be alone, you know, because as fun as it is to be with friends all the time, it definitely will be a lot. So take your me time. Also, you don't really have to be alone to have like your own like alone time. My friends and I a lot of times would just kind of like hang out in each other's rooms and watch a movie, and then you're not really talking to anyone, you're not being like social, but you're still being social, if that makes sense. So take time to just like, you know, have some downtime. Okay, so when you're in the dorms, I feel like it's really easy to get stuck in a rut of being in the dorms. I would recommend getting out of the dorms. Like, go explore, go check out campus, go find restaurants that you like to eat at, go find spots you want to hang out. My friends and I were talking about this, and we so wish that we did more our freshman year, because we were kind of stuck in a rut of going to class, going to our room, eating in the dining hall, going back to our room, and then like going out at night and then going and repeating. And that's just not good. You kind of get like stuck in your room and you're just not really like having fun. We did try a lot harder second semester to go do things. So we like found a coffee shop we like to go to. Hammocking outside on the quad is so fun. Would highly recommend that. But yeah, just take advantage of your campus, go explore, don't just sit in your dorm, because that is not fun. In the winter, it's so hard to go outside. I know that sucks, but still, like, go walk around, go find a spot. Even if it's studying at the library instead of in your bed, that is better than just being stuck in your room all day long. Okay, so now I'm just gonna talk about a few random things that I kind of learned. One thing being that you get a room key and you get a key fob to get into your dorm most of the time. Some people have like swipe cards, but a lot of people have keys. And I didn't want to lose my key because it costs money to replace it. So I put my key on my wrist. I see a lot of freshmen doing this. So when you go out, you have it on your wrist, like on a little hair tie like this, and you won't lose it. That is just a tip. I saw like every girl do this, but yeah, just so you know. I definitely want to make a part 2 to this video talking about anything that I forgot. Leave a comment down below if you're going to be going into college, if you have any questions, even if you're not going into college yet. If you have any questions that you want me to answer in a part 2 to this video, I would love to answer them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!